All right, we back with another episode of Fuel or Crutch podcast. Currently giving a few people some time to jump on, but this conversation literally needed to be had. Far too often we see students go back to school and excited right away, but a month or two in, they kind of lose their way or lose their motivation. And we need to figure out what we can do as adults and parents to keep them engaged, locked in, and try and just support them the best way that we can. And because of that, I brought in parents that I knew personally and want them to chime in, have a conversation about it, and share some of the things that they've done and strategies they've used. And we'll just dive in and get it going from there. So again, this is season 5. Can't believe it's been 5 seasons, but this is episode 1. So let's go. All right, so we back, like I said, another episode, Fuel or Crutch podcast, season 5, episode 1, and I brought friends with me, the Pruitts. Y'all go ahead and give an introduction.
Peace, man. What's up, Jamal? Appreciate you having us on, man. I'm Deontay, aka Pruitt.
And I am Stephanie, aka Queen P.
That's just one alias. I know you got a couple of them, but tell me what y'all do for a living.
For me, man, I'm a dean of students, man, at Sun Prairie East High School right now, man. But I've been in education for a long time, man. Probably since I started. I wasn't in the schools when I started in 2000, but I was education director at the Boys and Girls Club. So I've been in education 26
25 years. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Steph, come on and share, because I've been trying to get you on for a long time just to talk about that portion. Come on with it.
Well, the main portion to me is I am the owner of Queen P's Throne, where I custom acrylic and wood earrings and door signs.
All right, yeah. You had a viral moment, didn't you?
I did have a viral moment. I jumped on the cheer earrings, and those went viral, and that was a very beautiful experience for me.
I was gonna say, so how was that? Like, how did it come about? Or first of all, let's go back. How did y'all get interested in the fields that you did, especially with you and the entrepreneur, but Prue, you with the education aspect too?
All right, man. For me, man, my mom Dukes, man, Kim Prue, man, she was an educator, special ed, man. Her, my whole life, you know what I'm saying. So kind of just followed up in her. My dad was always big on education. He wasn't in, teaching or nothing like that, but he was a smart dude. You know what I'm saying? Had his masters and stuff. So, kind of like those two laid the foundation for me, man. So, and when I got out, I knew I wanted to help the youth. I didn't know in what capacity, but I knew that I wanted to have a career in helping young people, man, because I had older folks that helped me, you know what I'm saying, along the way. So,
man, that's real. That is super real. Steph?
So for me, I started making earrings because I just didn't see anything that represented us in the stores. And so I had 2 young ladies, one in Tennessee and then one in DC, that is currently doing earrings. And they kind of showed me the way. And so I just started my own little style and vibe with earrings.
No, that's dope. Like I said, like I've been following for a while, and the other beauty is like y'all have raised beautiful children who are respectful, who are driven. And so like I've had the utmost respect for y'all, and then actually getting to know y'all and hang out a little bit. It's been super dope. And especially with with seeing where Michi's gone and watching where O is going.
Yes.
So, can y'all talk about where y'all from and the upbringing around it?
Man, I'm from Racine, Wisconsin, man. You know what I'm saying? Down in the southeast corner. And you know, like grew up, like I said, my family put that education foundation in me, man. But I love sports, as you know what I'm saying? So I played football and basketball coming up. I actually was better in football than basketball. You know what I'm saying? So I was a running back, man, getting it in. So man, I had a lot of influential people in my life, man. You know, parents, grandparent, my grandpa, Iron Man, that was his nickname, man. You know, just, you know, my dad was in and out. So, you know, he was that father figure that I needed. Uncles, man. So, and then my one of my special coaches, man, Watt Booker, man. He was he's still a coach right now. He's like a living legend down in Racine, man. But he not only stood in as a father figure, man, but he, you know, made sure we was right on the court and played the game the right way, man. So I had a lot of influences, man, educationally and you know what I'm saying, on the sports tip, man, that kind of rounded me into who I am today, man.
And I don't think people realize how important the people that are outside of the home play in helping mold a child, because at some point, yeah, we hear our parents, but we ain't really listening like that no more. It's like once somebody says something that mom or dad has said that you know that you ain't had no conversation with them, they like, oh man, maybe this makes sense. I don't know why that happens, but it's one of those things that it just does. Steph.
So I'm from Detroit, Michigan. What up, though? And so I think just for me, Detroit, I grew up where the community was like really strong. And so like when I say community, I mean like my neighbors, like everyone like knew everyone. And so they were so supportive and pushing you and making sure that I finished. The biggest thing was like finishing high school. So like that was just like not a huge thing back when I graduated. So my community stayed behind me to make sure that was the goal. They was on me to make sure that I accomplished that goal. And what I did after that is just, you know, what I do.
Shout out to Coach B, Sidney Bundridge. He tapping in. He said, Detroit, stand up.
Yes, Detroit.
No, but that's dope. And so when y'all thought about the education, and did you know its importance, or it was just one of those things like you maybe tried to do enough to get by, or like when did it click for y'all?
I would say 9th grade for me. Middle school, I wasn't as focused as I should have been. I got into like a lot of you know, fights, and wasn't the problem child, but just was like I got into a lot of trouble. And so my gym teacher was just like, if you stay on this path, you're not going to finish high school. I thought that was, you know, your goal. So then when I went to high school, I was really focused, and like all of the riffraff I put behind me and just was like, okay, I really need to accomplish this. So I was really focused in high school.
All right.
True. Man, for me, you know, I was pretty straight, like in elementary and middle school, man. Like I went to a private school for like till 7th grade. So like they was real strict on the academics and stuff, man. So I was good. But then when I went to middle school, it was kind of easy, and public high school was kind of easy for me. So I really didn't struggle like then. But my wake up call was when I got to like college, man. And that first semester I got on academic probation, man. I thought it was sweet. You know what I'm saying? I thought I could just do what I was doing in high school. You know what I'm saying? Time management, do some stuff on Sunday and get it in. But I had to wake up real quick, man, because I was on probation. So once I figured out how to manage my time and how to, you know what I'm saying, work before play, then I got it together. You know what I'm saying? And then it was smooth sailing, and I understood, you know what I'm saying, what it took.
No, that's dope, man. And it's funny to hear like when it clicked for them. Crazy enough for me, it probably didn't click for me until grad school. Middle school or elementary school came super easy. Middle school, it came easy, but trying to fit in, I didn't necessarily like try and, you know, do my best anymore, because like we was getting teased for having good grades, which is the craziest thing in the world, but you would really get teased for having good grades. And so I wanted to blend. Like I didn't want to stand out, be super smart, or or whatever the case is. And if you believe that you are not that smart for a long time, it has no choice but to kind of take over and be a part of who you are. But because of sports or whatnot, I had to do enough to get by. And I did enough to get by in high school. I did enough to get by in college. But like you said, there was a couple wake-up calls. I remember a junior in high school, grades dropped. I had to sit out in street clothes plenty of games. Then in college, hitting academic probation. That was tough too. But still, doing enough to get by. I graduated undergrad, but I only had a 2.2. So like I literally was just doing enough to stay eligible.
Yes,
So when did y'all end up meeting?
Man, we wed in 99, man. Up in Eau Claire, man. That's
Y'all was the only two black folks up there?
Man. Believe it or not, man, we had a small community of people up there, man. Probably was about, I don't know,
under 20.
Yeah, about 20, 25, you know what I'm saying? So we hung out, was close together because we knew what it was, you know what I'm saying? We had to do that being up there. So, actually I met Steph. She was up there visiting with one of her best friends at the time, whose brother went up to Eau Claire. Actually a brother named Mike Etheridge. He live in Madison now, man.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah, so but that's how we met, man, doing that thing. So it was a special time, special moment in time that, you know what I'm saying, we was both in the place because she was only going to be there for a couple of days before she smashed back,
Well, then the next thing goes is like, how did y'all keep in contact? Because cell phones wasn't a popular thing. Was y'all sending pigeons and writing?
So, funny because I didn't have a cell phone. And I think back then I may had a beeper. And so I think he would page me and then I would go over to like the payphone and call him back. But a lot of communication was through letters.
So y'all got a real love story because it was going through letters. You know what? That makes sense because Prue was super strong with the words.
Yes.
Yeah, man. That was my thing, man. I used to love writing letters, put a little poetry, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? That was back in my prime of doing that,
Shout out to Nestic talking about them calling cards, man. And them minutes used to run out fast.
When back then when we had the cell phones, it was like you had the minutes or you had to wait till the weekend.
After 7.
And then you had the unlimited minutes.
Yep.
So yes.
It was after 9, and it went to after 7. You could talk as much as you want.
Man.
Oh man, no, that's cool. So now when y'all ended up, really coming together and deciding to be a family and have kids, did y'all have conversations about how y'all wanted to raise them? Was it going to mirror what y'all experienced, or you were going to create your own thing?
I don't recall having the conversation. I think we just kind of knew that we would go with our flow, and that we were going to do it the way that we wanted to do it. So I don't think we had like any plans. We just was like, this is what we were going to do. I don't think we planned for kids either. It was a surprise.
It was a surprise.
So we definitely didn't think anything else out.
I think one thing we did do once we knew we was having seeds, man, I think we did, talk about how we wanted to like make sure that we both didn't have like the whole family growing up. You know what I'm talking about? Like, mom and dad. So we wanted to make sure that ours had that opportunity to experience that. You know what I'm saying? So we wanted to make sure we came together and stayed together for that. You know what I'm talking about?
So when it came to y'all finally becoming parents, what did y'all take from what you did have that is something that kind of like was it maybe a pillar or something that y'all made sure like, hey, I know we want to have this. Like for you were saying like, I know for a fact we want to push the education piece.
I mean, we push education. We also push sports because we wanted to keep them busy, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, how sports was introduced to me for the kids was that we just signed them up through the Y League. And then back then, the Y League was like March Madness, and then they had like some fall, and then somehow it turned to all year round.
So, man, I think, like, what was the question again, Jamal?
Just like was there something that y'all took from like what y'all had as an upbringing that you might have incorporated to kind of create what y'all wanted? But I know everybody's taking different pieces from different places.
Yeah, I think like you said, we already touched on the educational piece, and Steph was just hitting on the sports. So I'm gonna go on, elaborate more on the sports, man. I think, you know what it is, man. Sports is life, man. So I learned a lot through sports, man. A lot of discipline, you know what I'm saying? A lot of knowing my role, you know what I'm saying? A lot of sacrifice for the team, you know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of different life skills, man, I learned through sports. And I knew that as I was going through it, you know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause a lot of my peers that wasn't able to get on AAU squads and travel and go to places, you know what I'm saying? Because AAU ain't like how it is today. Everybody couldn't get on the squad, you know what I'm saying? So it was a select few, you know what I'm saying? So knowing that, I was able to understand the realness of like playing at that level and what it needs to happen. So I think for us, and Stephanie, we both had a love for it, so it was good. So we wanted to make sure our kids was in something like that, along with the education, to like round themselves better. You know what I'm saying? Sports is life, so that educational piece and the athletic piece, you know what I'm saying, to learn those life skills and to have fun and have, you know what I'm saying, friends in the social life through that too.
And I think another thing is like we wanted to make sure too that we were really big off of village. So like neither one of us would be where we're at today if there was other people that didn't step in. And we wanted to make sure too that we put them in a position that they had a village. So if for some reason we wasn't there or they didn't feel comfortable with coming to us for something, they had someone to, go to and talk to and lean on.
Now, when y'all kids were younger, were they naturally gifted in the academics or in the sports, or was it something that they had to really work at, or y'all had to push, like the pulling of teeth to get them to do certain things or buy in?
I think it was a little bit of both, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I think they did love it, you know what I'm saying, because we introduced like books and stuff to them at a young age, you know what I'm saying? So I think they had a love for education, but sometimes some of the stuff maybe wasn't as interesting to them as they got older. You know what I'm saying? So then we had to kind of like, hey, find something you're interested in or do this or do that to try to keep them on track. But I don't think it was like pulling teeth in them like that. It was more like helping them find different ways that they can find joy through learning. You know what I'm saying? Like finding stuff that they was interested in and not just stuff that they quote unquote had to do for a grade or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, that makes sense. Yeah. Mine enjoyed academics. Well, no, my oldest did. I will say my youngest, she never cared for school, but she's one that has kind of figured out like, all right, I have to do it. It's a part of the process, whether I like it or not. It's just something that I have to do. My oldest actually really loved school, and actually, like, if she had a bad grade, like, would cry about it and wanted to get it up. But COVID hurt, man. COVID hurt her so much where it was like, she came to me and was like, Dad, I don't think I learned nothing this past year. And with that, I saw like the care leave, and then trying to play catch up as they got back, able to go back into school, which is why now dropping her off for school, one of the conversations we had was like, yo, this is you getting a second chance. This is you getting to write the story that you wanted to for your own academics. So like, I feel like at some point, like we're not done parenting, but they listen to us with a grain of salt. So now it's like, I have to coach you versus like telling you what you got to do now, especially because we both have an adult child that still needs us, but they kind of make up their own decisions, make up their mind.
I can tell you that it does get better. Like, you'll watch the transformation from her today and then her first year. It is actually a pure joy sitting down and having conversations with the grown Demetria.
No, that's cool. And I'm looking forward to it. I know some of the things that I have instilled in her is starting to resonate, where something will happen and she'll send me a text message like, Dad, man, I remember when you said, and so now it's starting to click. So I'm like, cool. Yeah. Now, as far as parent-teacher conferences, this is for you, D. You work at the high school.
Yeah.
Have you seen, or matter of fact, what is the percentage that you see of parents that look like us coming to the parent teacher conferences to support their kids or to find out how they're doing, or even knowing who their teachers are, their kids' teachers are?
Well, I'm just going to keep it to the parent-teacher conference because I think a lot of them do communicate by phone or text, you know what I'm saying, more so than coming to the conferences, man. Okay. But I'll probably say, bro, I'm gonna be generous, probably about 30%. I'm gonna be generous.
And I asked that because I was reading a book by Dr. Juwanza Kanchufu, Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys.
Hey, that's a cold book, man.
Man, I was reading,
but I seen the snippets, you know what I'm talking about, like on YouTube and stuff, and that's cold.
I might give you, I know I got one or two laying around. I'm gonna give you one of them, but he talked about he doesn't understand why our culture or community does more of a gradual release. Like, we're super hands-on, super involved during the elementary years. We're at parent-teacher conferences. We show up to the concerts, even when the kids is supposed to be singing and they face in the back of the rafters. Like, he's like, we're there, we're focused, we're hands-on. But then by the time we get to high school, we'll let them figure it out on their own. And he's like, that's when we need to be coaching them the most, because of that transitioning piece into adulthood, which at that point, they're no longer viewed as children. Unfortunately for our Black kids, that you're 18 and make a mistake, you're an adult. You could be potentially a white kid and make a mistake at 21 because you're a college student, you're still a kid. And so how do we make that change? How do we switch that to have the conversation around more maybe intentionality on supporting through high school?
To be rich, man, but I think I just think we gotta really look at ourselves honestly, and like you said, that value of education that we have for our kids and give our kids when they're younger. We gotta do our best daily to maintain that, and it's hard, man, because there's a lot of different things. We be working, we go through the struggle as Black folks, so I think a lot of times the survival that we have to go through and the things that we go through and the stress and different obstacles and things kind of hold us back from that educational piece, but we all know that we've been hearing forever that education is the key up out of place. I just think we got to really look into ourselves, man, and be like, we have to understand, like what you said, it's not just as they younger, as they older, and it do, like, you probably can bear witness to this. It gets harder as the kids grow up and get older to help them through school because they become more independent. They may want to be doing their own things and peer influence and things like that, man. But it is super important, man, to try to daily let them know, man. And I think a big point of that too, man, is not only just getting education for the sake of education, man. They have to get true knowledge of self too, not just in the books. You know what I'm saying? They got to know who they are, man. Identity. You know what I'm saying? Who's your people? Where you come from? Where's your greatness? You know what I'm saying? Hold the ancestors, man. All of those things are important to for a young person to to have in their mind, man, as a young person, so they know that they got people that they can look up to, and that they can kind of look deep into themselves and see what they got, the genius within. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really important, man. So knowledge yourself at a young age, and then as they get older, kind of still hammering it. But it's so hard, man, because it's the wilderness out here, bro. You know what it is. When your kids come out your doorstep of your crib, man, it's like the wilderness of North America for real. So it's wild. So the kids probably, the things you teach them at the crib, they, like you said, sometimes they got to save face and do different things because it's just so different, and they got to navigate that, man. So it's just, I think every day, man, you got to remind them who they are, and you got to hold them to high standards and still love too, because they ain't gonna make it 4.0 and do all of this all the time. They're gonna go through different things and go through setbacks, but it's those constant reminders and being there, like you said, parent teacher conferences, be there, holler at the teacher, let them know, you know what I'm saying, you there and you present. That does wonders for us, because we usually always went. You know what I'm saying? High school, we kind of fell off a little bit, but all the way up through middle school, we was there. They knew what was good. So they respect a little bit was different. So they looked at our kids a little different and they acted accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the parents ain't there, bro. You know what it is.
That's huge. That unfortunately, some of the schools they'll play in your face with your kids, but if you there, they're not gonna do it. If you show up, they're not gonna do it. If you hold them accountable, they're not gonna do it. It's just like you said, we've got some parents have so many different things going on, or they may have so many kids that they now have pivoted and focusing on that younger group or number of however many they have, and expecting the oldest to kind of figure it out and navigate it. But again, both of y'all talked about it before, that village.
Yeah.
So now how do we step up for as a village too? Because man, listen, Prue, I know you know we both have talked about it. Steph, you as well. Like, hey, if you see my daughter, if you see my son, hey, hold them accountable. Let them know. Have a conversation with them.
You know, I think that part is what's hard right now with everything that's going on in the world. Back then, my village could put me in my place and then tell my mama that they put me in my place. And then my mama is going to discipline me because they put me in my place. You have to either already have that connection with someone and tell them like, hey, you see my kid, or you can see somebody kid and you be like, do I say something to this child? Because then now the mama may come or the daddy may come. And so I don't think that they understand that. Like, so that part is going to be hard because at least for us, we should be able to, if I see your child, get them that parent look, and they put it together. Message you and be like, I seen your child doing A, Y, and Z. I gave them that parent look and they disappeared without you coming like, oh, I see you was trying to chastise my child and, you know, you're not my child's parent. Hold on.
And man, I've seen that experience on both sides of it, where it's like I done said something to a kid, like, come on, man, I know you know better than that. I know both of your parents, or I know your mom, or I know your daddy, and then reach out to them and they like, yo, I appreciate it, thank you, da 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 da. But then I've had another parent be like, yo, yo, that's the problem. Too many people in their ear and they don't know what to listen to.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Are you? And I think another thing too. You know, I'm not in the school districts, but I do watch a lot, and a lot of the parents want to be their kid's friend, and I think that'll come at a point. But the main focus is being their parent, and so you have to make those tough decisions where they be like, "Oh, well, you bogus and you mean." I am, but you'll understand this when you get older. And then when you have kids and I look back and you be like, oh, are you using the bogus? Your kids now are doing this to you. And then you understand, because the same thing my grandmother did to my mom did to me. So it passed on. So I did the same to my kids.
So what are some strategies that y'all have used to get them to I don't know if the potential is the right word, but to live up to the standard that y'all have held them to?
Man, you know, man, like I'm really big on, like I was just talking about, man, like letting them know who they are, bro. You know, my kids, sometimes I don't expect them to go and tell other people what they learned in the crib, but they kind of humble, so they don't really express what they learn here, which is fine. I think they show it, which is good. You know what I'm saying? But like me, Michi, Origin, Stephanie, sometime, man, we orientate ourselves in the morning. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times on what we need to do and who we are. You know what I'm saying? Like recognizing our greatness, what we need to do for the day. You know what I'm saying? How we gonna do it? Some positives, negatives. You know what I'm saying? How do you attract positivity? How do you deflect negativity? You know, all of those things, man. So we kind of reinforce stuff every day if we could. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the older they got, it kind of got minimal because they start talking less and stuff like that. But I still pry and prod and still try to get stuff out of them, man. So I think that's one strategy always. Like I've always tried to just remind them of who they are. You know what I'm saying? And like that you got this and you got us. And you know, and at the same time, we strict, but not like crazy strict. You know what I'm saying? We just expect high expectation. And if you fall short, then we're gonna respond and be like, what's going on, to try to see what, you know, where you messed up at. So I think they always knew that. Along with that orientation, they always knew that, you know, when they did slip or something like that, we was going to be right there to be like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Because we always on like Infinite Campus. Stephanie is good with staying on top of that, getting notifications late and all of that. So we like, what's going on? You know what I'm talking about? So they knew that if they did do that, we would be right on them to like make sure that we was going to support and that they would maintain the high expectations. So I think we always did those two things. And I don't know, man, I think the last thing is like, like just like both of us, we do it together. You know what I'm saying? So she got a perspective how she talked to them, and I got a perspective how I talk to her, but it's both just high expectations from our, you know, respective perspectives. You know what I'm talking
about? and they've got to know that it's coming from a place of love. Like you really want what's best for them. Yeah. So, all right. So I'm hearing being intentional, and being, I guess, structured would be a good word. The structured and intentionality, but you're intentional with the structure.
Yeah.
What is one thing that you think that y'all like maybe have fallen short, like you wish you could go back and you could have changed it to do something a little different to help support them, maybe in a different light that could have potentially helped them to grow in another area? I mean, in Michi's, what is she, 22 now?
21.
So she's seeing things from a different lens now too, that Origin is still, you know, he ain't made it through high school yet, but and I can say for me, it was, I wish I would have did a better job of coaching Ariana into being comfortable with who she is, and making sure she was aware of who she is. And I did a better job of doing that with Alana. So Alana is super comfortable with who she is. She knows who she is. She likes what she likes, and she don't care if somebody else don't like what she like. I didn't do a good enough job of that with Ari.
I got you. Until Stephanie I think for me, man, like, you know, looking back for both of my shorties, man, I would keep the basketball the same level of what we did, but I would, I'm saying, like they did. They both played football. Michi played flag for like 2 years. Origin played flag for like 4 years, but he never played tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like this other sports, baseball, whatever they wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I think I would encourage them to do those things and lay off the basketball a little bit more. So I think that's one thing. And also just helping them, you know, that kind of go along with it, but not even so much sports, like helping them find like what else they was good at. You know what I'm saying? Like what else you got a talent in or skill that ain't got nothing to do with sports. It could be anything. You know what I'm saying? Like mathematical mind, some science, some whatever, invention, whatever you got. Like I would have helped them. Wish I would have helped them craft that and like, you know what I'm saying, find that in themselves. It's not too late, but that's what I'm saying. If I had to do it over, I would probably try to, you know, harvest it at a younger age. You know
I was shocked to find out that my kids had some of these other gifts. Like both of them have this artistic side of them where they can draw, they can cut, like draw, paint, whatever, freelance. They came home. One of them came home with a picture of me that they found on the internet. And I was like, oh man, this is cool. Where'd you trace this at? She was like, oh, I drew this freehand. She was like, I had the picture, I put it here and did it. I was like, I know you lying. But had no clue that was an artistic ability that they had. Because I ain't have it. I can't draw a stick figure. The stick figure, if I draw a stick figure, his leg will be broke.
You know, that's interesting because Michi has done the same thing, and she brought home. So I was like, whoa, you did this. So I think too, like, I think we focus a lot on basketball, and I think I would still do the basketball. I think the only thing that I would probably tweak is that my kids are too humble on the court, and I need for them to be like dogs. Like you got a little bit of Detroit in you, and you got a little bit of Wisconsin. I need for more Detroit to come out doing basketball.
Now, I will say this, because I've seen this time and time again. I see it with Origin. I saw it with Michi. I see it right now with Mikey Wilson. Like, these are kids that are really good kids. And they show it on the court that they're really good kids. I'm like, I don't want to see you be nice on the court. Go be a dog. Knock them down and keep moving. I don't care. That ain't your teammate. Don't help them up. Keep moving.
Yeah. Yes, shake hands afterwards and be like whatever. But like when that whistle go, the dog mode come out. So if I can change anything, and I think especially in my daughter, like because I needed her to just be like a dog. I think it can still come with Origin, but
so knowing that y'all came from Racine and Detroit, how much time did your kids spend in those cities to kind of develop that or did you try and keep them away from it?
So I'll start There was a point where like we would go back to Detroit yearly and go for like a week, and I would show them around. And that was probably when they were smaller. As they got older and Detroit started to change, where it was no longer, I would say, safe to do like basic sightseeing in where I grew up at, I kind of didn't take them back there. So that part I should have, because I needed them to see and experience that. So then when I tell them that I need for them to be a dog, they understand what that means, because they'll see, you know, where I came from and what I had to survive while I was there. So then I'm like, I made it. So then I need for y'all to have like just a little bit of that in y'all.
No, yeah, I definitely understand that. Shout out to Rainey for pulling up. He said y'all did and are doing an amazing job as parents. Much appreciated.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, what's up, Rainey, man? Appreciate that. Man, I seen that Sid had a question too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to that because he had one. So Sydney asked, did both of you have same views when it came to the athletic structure for your kids? Like, did either one think it was too much?
I think Stephanie was the one probably that thought it was too much at certain points. But then, like, as we talked and as the kids got older and we understood what the plan was, we trying to get these scholarships. We trying to get them to,
man.
We ain't trying to pay no money. So I think she understood how hard I was, because sometimes I ain't gonna lie, I would be too hard on them. You know what I'm saying? Like being intense and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And she would really be like, calm down, don't be doing that too much, or don't bring it home. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like talking on the way to the crib. You know what I'm talking about? Like, so I had to like understand and learn. So she helped me learn, like, man, be intense and be cool, man, but don't like take it too far and don't be too serious. So I think it was the same idea, but then she helped me with that.
So question then, to piggyback off of that, were you their coach?
Yeah, Michi coach. Origin, I'm not necessarily for football was, but not really. I never was his basketball coach, maybe for a couple tournaments, but Michi for sure, all her life till she got, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that relationship can be definitely different and hostile.
And that's what I would tell him, like, hey, you have to learn that there is a coach hat and a father's hat, but you cannot have both of them on. Like, you have to be able to juggle it. And I think he, like, being dad now and watching her in college, like, he understands that, because like the conversations have shifted, like how they communicate and talk now is like amazing to just sit and watch. Like a lot of times I just sit and watch it and I'm like, wow, this is like so dope. But like back in high school, I'd be like, wait, is this coach or dad? Like, I'm confused. So I know she got to be confused.
And it's funny too, because, you know, I know D, you coach Michi and I coached Ariana for a long time. And knowing your kids, like me and Ariana I did a great job with her coaching. But if I needed to get on her and get more out of her, if I pissed her off, she would play so much better. She ain't gonna talk to me the rest of the day, but she would go out and she would turn that dog switch on. But yeah, that relationship with me and her for the rest of the day was a wrap.
I mean, I've tried that, you know, like at least with Michi and like Michi, Malia, and Alicia, like when they were playing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, you know, I heard the other team talking about they was about to drag y'all on this court. Like, just seeing if I can pull something out of them. And I'd be like, yeah, they was ready, fired up, just whatever. Like, and it was just like nothing. Like, so for me, it was more of like, if someone said something or did something or tried to show like some extra skills or something on the court, that's what got her fired up. But right. She saying like people wanted to beat them, they didn't. Even Origin now, I'm like, yeah, you know, this team was like, they about to, you know, skull drag y'all. He'd be like, yeah, okay.
But they different. I've seen Origin talk trash on the court. I ain't never seen Michi say nothing.
Yeah.
Origin is a trap. So I have to make sure that I'm always at a game, because I feel like he will always forever need a bodyguard, because he talks a lot of trash. So I need to make sure that I get him out of the gym safe.
But what's funny is what you said. Like, we know that these are good kids and the whole nine, and they usually show it on the court. Man, that first time I saw Origin talking, I was like I was shocked. Like, he's talking. Like he's going back and forth, getting into it with somebody. I liked it, but I was shocked.
Yeah.
I like it at a certain point. I did tell him the biggest thing is like when he's talking to the refs, it's okay to ask them, what you did or what you should do, but don't feed off of like what you may hear, like the parents yelling or whatever. So that was like one of the biggest things. You and the players, go at it. If that's what motivates you and gonna bring that dog out, y'all can talk junk. I'm not too big on like the pushing because I feel like at some point that somebody's gonna get frustrated and it can go to the next level. But the trash talking, absolutely.
See,
he's
that
a
pro
at that.
That might be your PTSD from being in Detroit. They ain't finna start scrapping on the court in Madison.
And it probably is. So
she be ready, man.
I always be ready though
at all times. Man. Hey man, I want to add on what you asked about, our hometowns and stuff, man. Like, she mentioned Detroit and they was getting down there, and I think they got that in them for sure, because it's it's in their DNA, man. But I did get them to Racine a few times, man. Like, I let them know about the grace from Racilla, man. That that's where I was born and raised, and made me who I am, man. So I did let them go. He's closer, so we was going back a lot. So Michi was down in camps with Keisha Anderson. Keisha Anderson, she like one of the best from on the Badgers. I'm talking about, like back in the day. So she had camps and she was coming to train and do all that. So I let them know about them, let them meet them. Karan Butler, So the greats, man, guys that I hung out with and played ball with. So they knew, that it was a hotbed of talent in Racine, that was a part of their DNA too, man. So I was proud to.
Did you also tell them on the flip side, them living legends that's still there that never made it out?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. We talk about that all the time, man. Like, and and for me, man, making it out, it ain't the NBA. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that. I want you to like go to school, man, and get done with school. You know what I'm saying? So, and not, be like somebody that talk about what could have been. You know what I'm saying? So I tell them all the time, man, like, don't be that person, man. Like, go and make sure that you're doing everything in your power, academically and athletically, to like make sure you going to get up out of here so you can see real life and real opportunities and not say I coulda, I shoulda, you know what I'm saying, and all this kind of stuff. So for sure.
All right. Shout out to Brianna Zentz. Ooh, I get my fiancés on here. All right. She said, yes. We just talked about this. Our community pushes sports for our kids, but some kids are not athletic. So there's so many other avenues our kids can go down, so many other talents and hobbies that aren't sports related. We got to teach these kids other outlets to nourish whatever they want to do. That's real. Literally that's why I do the Back to School Summit, and I make sure that I have a variety of careers on the panel so the kids can kind of get exposed to something that they may not. Because I wholeheartedly believe kids mimic what they see. And if they only see, what their parents are, those are the things that they may pursue. Now, the same is going to be said, though, if both parents are like in negative spaces. Those are still going to be the two things that they're familiar with, and those are going to be the things that they pursue. So, yeah, we've got to make sure that we expose our kids to any and everything, which is why when I found out Ari and Alana had a talent with art, hey, I'm going to feed it. Like, Ari has 10 canvases in her room right now. So whenever she's down, go at it.
Yeah, man.
Even for me, for like high school, we had shopping, home ec, and sewing and cooking, like, and so I don't even see that in the schools now. Like, challenging to some of that, like, we all got to eat, and you get these kids into these kitchens and they can be chefs and own their own. That's setting them up too, like. Clothes, people got to wear jeans, like if they in these sewing classes and all of this stuff, they find different things to do, and so sports is pushed and a lot of the other stuff is not pushed, and I don't like that.
I'm like you, Prue. My thing was, listen, I never wanted to play in the NBA. That wasn't my dream. My dream was to play college basketball, and I'm like, yo, Ari, Alana, y'all have talent. Let's try to not have to go into student loan debt.
Yes.
Let's get the school piece paid for and whatever it is. And I always talk to them like, hey, let's just say God blessed you and you're able to play professional. What are you going to do after that? Yes. What is going to be like, what are you going to do after that? Because the average, NBA player is done by 32. Do you plan
Unless
on passing? Unless you LeBron, that's 1 in a million. But at the same time, we know he'll be done by 45. Unless you plan to pass away at 45, what are you going to do for the remainder? Now he's done a great job of setting himself up with sports agency, movie, like the whole nine. So it's like we got to talk to them about what is it that you're going to do when the playing days are over.
Word. For real, man. I think about for our kids, right? I think Michi is going. I think this is what I predict. Her transition is going to be a little bit easier. I think Origin, man, because he lived, eat, sleep, and breathe basketball. So I want to make sure that, like you said, when that ball stop bouncing, man, what you gonna do, man? What's your interest, bro? That's gonna be my next 2 years of focus with him. That's why he in the STEM and all that, man. To make sure he finds something else to stimulate that mind. You know what I'm saying? So when that ball stop bouncing, he'll be able to be happy with something and not feel like he unfulfilled. You know what I'm saying?
The homie Mello Williams that does all the write-ups or whatever, he told me a quote. He was like, what are we going to do, or what are you going to do when the ball goes flat? Because at some point it's going to stop.
Right. Yes, sir.
And you got to have a game plan. I'm like, man, that's real. And for me, I know Ari wants to be a travel nurse. Alana wants to be an anesthesiologist assistant. Cool. Ooh. So we know what we're working toward. Right. If everything plays out and you end up getting a chance to play basketball after college, cool. Play after high school, cool. But we know what the goal is, game plan is professionally.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So, yeah. So while we're thinking about it, what is Michi's career goal? I know y'all had them conversations. What is she thinking, or what is she majoring in?
Psych and sports management right now. So she's psychology and then sports management is her minor.
Do you know how much money she gonna make as a sports psychologist? Jesus Christ. That's good, because man, if you notice, when we were younger, we didn't have the ability or opportunity to have mental issues or mental lapses, or hell, we you know how many times we probably had a concussion and we have no clue? We just got our bell wrong.
Come on, man. Every game I got, you seen stars. It's if you see stars and you get hit, you probably had a concussion. I probably seen stars every other game.
If you got hit in the head and you had a headache for 4 hours, you was concussed.
Yeah.
What about Oregon?
Yeah, man. I agree, though. I don't know if she looking at that avenue, but I'm glad that she got those two majors because, those two fields of study. Because it's a lot of different avenues. And like you said, wasn't nobody talking about, it was mental health was probably, forbidden to talk about back then or whatever. People was acting like you was soft if you talked about what was going on. So, but now you got a lot of pros that's out here advocating for that, man. So it's definitely an avenue that's probably going to be, lucrative in the future, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. Because you got athletes like DeMar DeRozan and Kevin Love talking about it.
Word.
Yeah, I think she was just recently looking at some jobs in the NBA and WNBA. She's like, if I can't play in there, I can at least work. So,
and that's again, the ball's gonna go flat. You can still stay connected in ways like D. You ain't finna go out there and chase no 19-year-olds, but you still connected to it. You're coaching. Yeah. So yeah, cool. So I wanted to give Stephanie an opportunity to really promote herself and her business, because I finally got her on here and I knew she needed her husband that was going to be right there with her to really advocate and talk about it, because what she did or what she does is so dope. Anything from the earrings to the signs that you put on the door, give me some of your best slogans, some of your best phrases too. I want to hear the whole nine. Come on.
I think anything for the culture is just always, because that's my motto. I do it for the culture. I do it for Black women, which is really huge for me. I am trying to bring earrings for everyone, but my focus is Black women because we are unique and dope. So you'll always see something that says dope or culture or Black women is the blueprint. I'm all about us.
Fuck around and find out the whole night.
I mean, you got to know my earrings you can feel one way in the morning and have on a pair. You can feel a different way in the afternoon and throw on another pair. And then the evening you can, like you said, have the F around and find out.
Come on, talk about it. These earrings bring out different personalities.
They do. They do.
Right.
No, man, I like, for me, it was super dope when, one, I saw how fast you jumped on that damn chair.
You know, that happened probably the fastest ever because I shared like a little metal cheer or whatever on, so I was like, dang, this is dope. And I think like Sabrina and Cupcake and a couple other people was like, so you're not gonna make the earrings? And I was like, no. I'm like, do y'all really want this earring? And I'll never forget, like, I did it on my 15-minute break at work. I took it down to D and I'm like, oh my God, look. And he was like, dang, that was quick. So like 15 minutes, I did the earring and I had posted it right before I went back to my break, off my break. And I couldn't even believe it. I told D, I was like, there's no way that I can even, that moment was like so amazing just to watch all of the orders, to watch the growth, because when I was shipping them out like in a little poly bag, and then I had to switch to the boxes because the legs was fragile. So it was a lot of growth during that experience. So I was like, if I ever get another, or when I get another viral moment, I'll be ready and prepared.
Listen, I love the way you just said if, you said when.
Yes.
Words have power. So with that being said, where can people get your stuff?
You can get my stuff at www.queenpeacethrone.com. I do want to say one thing. Like, I don't know if you were at the championship game last night.
I wasn't.
Party.
I was at a wedding in Milwaukee.
Oh, at the end of the night, they put this chain on like the MVP, and it was this huge charm that I made for that event. And so I'm just sitting here waiting now for like the pictures of it, because I had to step like out of my comfort zone. I've never did anything like it. I've seen all of the dope chains, like when we went to like the Chicago Sky game. I can see that Detroit Lions, I can see it, and was just like, oh, that's dope, but never wanted to touch it. And then I had the opportunity to do it, so I'm like, so that was like a really proud moment for me, because that's a big event here in Madison.
Yeah, the block party is a staple of Madison Black culture and community. Yeah. And it's had many iterations. It went through, I don't even know what it was when I was a kid. It was just a block party. I walked up the street and had a ball all day. Then Johnny Winston took it over, and now Julian is, and shout out to him and Just Win. Unfortunately, the rain kind of killed some of that. But what I hear was a great turnout, and everybody had fun.
Every picture that Origin sent me, the gym was packed. So I'm glad that, you know, the community stepped in and had a backup plan. So I can see how frustrating it is, because you always have these plans, and we never plan for like the what if this doesn't happen, or if it rained, like we just go with the flow. So I'm glad he had a backup plan and was able to take care of that quickly.
So as we double down on you talking about stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something, that must be the theme for the weekend, because this is you stepping out of your comfort zone doing this as well.
Okay, this definitely is the comfort zone week, because I know I was like, every time you ask, I'm like, you know, I really don't.
Because I've been trying to get you for like a year. Hey, but I appreciate you taking it, and I appreciate D being that support system to be there. So now I got to pivot and turn to you. How has it been being the, you know, the support system for, you know, Queen Peace Throne and everything that she's got going on and doing, on top of like also being that, you know, the proud father that's got a Division I athlete, and you got Origin that's creating his own lane too.
Word, man. Man, it's levels to it, man. It's levels of support, man. Like we was actually talking today about it, man. Like, you know, I'm always gonna be that husband that support what she do, and like, you know, be there, you know, help her take her stuff, break it down, you know, all of that kind of thing, man. But you know, just being in earrings is kind of like way out of my lane, you know what I'm saying? Even though she do other things, you know what I'm saying, which is cool, you know, just finding how I can get in on that is probably my next thing, you know what I'm saying? But I just think I wanted to add in just, you know, the transformation, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? Like, of the community, like, you know, like she even joke about it. Like, you know, when we first got here, it was like, you know, people know me, you know what I'm saying, from being in the community, coaching and whatever, you know what I'm saying, like working and with Will G and MP and all of that, man. But like now it has reversed. She has the community, you know what I'm saying, really knows and loves Queen P, man. And it's a beautiful thing because like with this business, man, like it's another side of her that you see like a different kind of joy and a different kind of like inspiration, you know what I'm saying? Like she really enjoyed doing it. So I really love seeing that. And I love seeing the reception, you know what I'm saying, that she get from people, man. But just being honest too, man, we honest and I'm real, you know, like honestly too, you know, Queen P is my baby, man. Like that's my wife, my queen, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I blessed her with that name. And sometime, you know, the attention, that not the attention, but just, you know, other people are at her now. It's a lot of people pulling, a lot of people different directions, which is good because she's blowing up. But also that's kind of like, man, I want to keep her, you know what I'm talking about? Like
keep it to yourself,
right here all the time, you know what I'm talking about? But it's like sometimes you got to let her be and do what she's doing right now, which is a beautiful thing, man. So, you know, I just, you know, like I said, I got to step up, but I hope that she finds what she wants out of this and really, you know, make it go big, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what she want to do. And that's when she is at her happiest. You know what I'm saying?
No, but listen, you talked about it. You talked about being the husband that's supportive and you found a different joy and happiness in her when she does it. So you feed it.
No doubt. No doubt, man. No doubt.
I do like the fact that, you know, for a very long time, you know, I was just always known as like, oh, you're Deontay's wife, or oh, you O's mom, or oh, hey, Michi mom. And so it's kind of cool now to have like my own name. I think it's even funny now. You know, talking to Demetria when she out and she's home, she be like, oh my God, mom, everybody know you. And everybody be like, oh, you Queen P's daughter. And then she be like, yeah. And Orchard even said the same thing. He's like, mom, you know how many people approach me and be like, oh, you Queen P's son. He's like, I'm old. Like, I was like, no, I've been your parent for all of this time and nobody ever knew my name. It just was always Demetria's mom, Origin's mom. So it's kind of cool to watch them be out. And
so now the rabbit got the gun.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, man, before we get out of here, man, I do want to speak on the kids. And like you said, like just, you know, being dad and supporting and like what that feels like and what that is. And it's a beautiful thing, man, like as they grow and they growing into like, you know, we want them as parents, our expectations be different. You know, so we want them to be this and that and like wish they could have did this or do that, man. But at the end of the day, man, I think both of them, man, is like growing into their own, you know what I'm saying? And like they really understand, like, you know, we call it the PTC, the dynasty, you know what I'm talking about? So they got a legacy.
Clan, for those that don't know.
So yeah, man, the Prutang. So you know, they know they got a legacy to uphold, man. So I think that I think they know that when they walk out, you know what I'm saying, into the public and try to uphold that. And also too, like, you know, just like I said, being real and honest and transparent, man. Like, you know, sometimes it is a frustration level as they get older because now they start to make choices on their own. You know what I'm talking about? And sometimes you might not agree with the choice. A lot of times I don't agree with the choice. I ain't gonna lie, but you know, I don't want to force you to do nothing as long as it ain't nothing negative. You know, I ain't gonna let you do that. But if it's something that you say you feel strong about, you want to go against what I'm going, I gotta let you grow. But it do get tough because, you know, I've been the leader of this ship and I want y'all to be like, man, dad got it. Sometimes I feel like they act like dad ain't got the wisdom no more. But I know that's just growth. You know what I'm saying? So, which is a good thing. And they got to figure out things on their own too. So, and fall in.
No, that's real. They got to learn, and they ain't going to get a chance to learn if they just following what everybody tells them to. At some point, they got to make some decisions on their own. And I tell people, like, listen, you just got to, whatever decision you make, you got to be okay with the consequences. Now, the consequences could be great or they could be bad, but you got to be okay with it. And you know, think about them before you make the decision. Yeah. And before we get out of here, I always have this question. It's my favorite question. If you could go back in time, what would you tell your younger self? This is my favorite question. And I want just, especially y'all, because y'all really be thinking. So I want to hear what y'all would tell y'all younger self, because this is the part that's good for our youth to go back so they can understand.
Man, I know this, you know, for me, I'm gonna let Steph think. I think for me, like I'm gonna take it a different perspective. Sometimes when people get asked this question, they like go back and tell like, you know, like give wisdom or give some kind of jewel that you wish you could give to them. And I probably can't think of something like that. But I think for me, how I want to answer it right now, Jamal, is like, I would tell my younger self, man, like be ready for the future, bro. Like you're gonna have like an amazing future if you just stay on the path. That's what I would tell myself. Stay on the path, what you're doing right now, and you're gonna have like, you know what I'm saying, a great family, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Kids doing their thing. So I kind of would like predict it as long as they, you know what I'm saying, kept the prophecy alive, you know what I'm saying, by doing the right things along the way. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what I would say, like, keep doing what you're doing, man, because when you get 50 years old, you're gonna be blessed in so many different ways. You know what I'm saying? If you just stay on the path and stay positive and productive and be you at all times.
Positive and productive. I love that.
Man, you know, this one is always hard for me because I feel that my life had to go the way that it went for me to be where I'm at today. And so if I can go back and tell my younger self, I think I would just tell my younger self to I don't know. Everything happens for a reason, and that I would see my reward at when I get older. So I would just go back and tell myself, yeah, everything happens for a reason, and don't let it get the best of me, and I will see it when I get older. Yeah.
I appreciate this. Just dropping gems, sharing knowledge. You know, and I know you guys are big community people. So one, I want to thank y'all for any time that you've ever seen my child and speaking to him. Prue, I know you've seen Ariana, Alana, and have shared. And I'll continue to do the same with both of y'all's. And again, I super appreciate y'all taking time to come on and jump on here and do this. So yeah, we're gonna stay on after this because I'm just gonna close out. But I again thank y'all for doing this. And you know, thank everybody for tuning in. I gotta say one shout out for Crystal Johnson with these Jolly Rancher margaritas. Appreciate you signing on to be a sponsor again, so I can have my own drink on the show.
Hey.
But without further ado, we'll be back next month. So y'all hang tight for a second.